Say, I need a hand clapping, full stop. I need a church where I can praise His name. Hand clapping, full stop. Church where I can praise His name. I gotta get to the altar to lead my burdens there. I need a church where I can praise His name. Come on, y'all. I need a hand clapping, full stop. I need a church where I can praise His name. Oh, hand clapping, full stop. Church where I can praise His name. Well, I gotta get to the altar to leave my burden there. I need a church where I can praise His name. Ooh, I need a church that don't mind praising the Lord, yes. I need a church where we're all on one accord. We're singing, shouting, praising all around, yes. I need a church where I can praise His name. Come on. Ooh, I need a church where the word of the Lord is. We all come together, and oh, how we gonna give, singing, shouting, praising all around, yes. I need a church where I can praise His name. Oh, I need a church. I need a church. We're in that church. I need a church. Don't you want to come with me? I need a church. Don't you know the Lord, He lives? He lives. He lives in me. I know He does. He lives in me. Come on, yeah. Come on, y'all. Put your hand together. Come on, yeah. Oh, tell me with me, want to thank God for everything thus far. Now it's my happy privilege to turn the service over to the hands of our pastor. Give her a great big amen as she comes.
God is good. We are so blessed to be in His house tonight, to worship Him in spirit and in truth. He's always blessing us, isn't He? Yes. I'm going to preach a while tonight in referencing, we have a lot of starters in this church. Starters. They just don't last. And I don't think anybody should think automatically that I'm going to win if I don't continue. You ever seen anybody go to the Olympics and say, boy, I started good? Did you win? Did you finish? If you didn't finish, you didn't win. You ain't never seen nobody come home and say, I got to go. I had a good start. You have to have a good finish. And you got to give it everything you got. And I look around when I'm thinking to myself, God, we got too many people that never make it based on one fact. They never continue. They do it for the moment. And then after a while, they're right back where they started. And it's constant. It's not sometimes, but it's constant. And so they'll hear a message and they'll get stirred up and say, you know, I'm going to do that and all this stuff, but it doesn't last for a moment. I'm on fire. I feel good. Talking about a special service. Wednesday night, they're already gone. They done dropped it all out of the bag. Whatever they got, they come. You better get a testimony real quick because by Wednesday night, it's not going to be there. I started to do things different. I started saying I'm going to make a change. I started going this way or that way, but I didn't continue. So let me read this scripture to you. It said, I'm in Luke, the 18th chapter. It says, and he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint. Always, not started, always. Okay? There was in a city a judge which feared not God, neither regarded him or regarded man. It says, and there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me of mine adversary. And he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself, though I fear not God, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she makes me tired. And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge said. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear along with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? I want to preach to you a little while. This woman is a good example of not letting go, not giving up. Not saying, well, the judge, you would think almost, well, I better not go back to the judge again because the judge, he's looking like he don't want to be bothered. We get caught up in how people look. Forget about that. You know, you may look like you don't want to be bothered with me, but I'm here to bother you. And she said, look, I'm going here because I need you to avenge me. Somebody's bothering this woman. What is this? I need somebody to stop this. And so the judge said, I'm not concerned about it. And he kept sending her away, but she kept coming back. And so finally she says, I'm going to go back again. I'm not giving up. And he said, in other words, who is this woman? She continues to come. She continues to do this. Why? What's going on? And why does she keep troubling me? I think a lot of times we don't get things from God because we don't just keep going and keep going until he does it. You want something from God, you ain't just going to give up the first time around. You got to make up in your mind, I'm going to stay there until he does it for me. We had a girl in Germany. Her name was Glennie. She was tearing for the baptism. And I always said, from that time I was in Germany to here, I said, if you ain't got it in 5-10 minutes, we're done with you. Because it don't take God long to fill anybody. Or what's taking you so long? So I remember that night that everybody was getting the baptism. Glennie wasn't getting it. And she was down on the floor, and she just pleading with God. And you don't have to beg. That's a gift. Just ask him for it. And so I said, well, we're going to get ready to dismiss this service. She said, no. We're not getting ready to dismiss this service. She said, I'm going to get the Holy Ghost tonight. And I thought, well, I hope you hurry tired. But she just hollered right off on the floor. It ain't closing it yet. So I thought, well, I guess we better get back down. I got down on the floor beside her and started praying with her, and pretty soon she went right off speaking in tongues. But I was getting ready to end it for her. But she hollered out at the pastor and said, no, we can't end it. I don't have it yet. You know, you don't worry about who it is that you're hollering at. Just holler it out. I need this to be done. I need this. And so I'm saying, well, if you need it, get with it. Go for it. You can do that. Everybody else had finished, and so it was left to me pretty much. So I just got down on the floor with her and said, hey, let's go for it. And thank God in a few minutes it was done. So how many times in your life that you missed something simply because you didn't consistently go after it? I hear these people say, I want a job. Well, I turned in my resume and I did this, I did that. I'm thinking, okay, so did you check back? Because sometimes they don't check back right with you. And so see, back in our day, you didn't send no resume and you went to the place. Wherever you wanted a job and somebody was hiring, you just went there. So now it's resume. We don't do it. You got to send it over the over the computer, and I put it there. You know how many people put things in the computer? And sometimes I think that's why some people don't get a job, because there's so many people going in there. How do you make a difference with your resume than somebody else did? I'm getting up. No. And I said, well, have you called the people back? Well, no, you're not supposed to call. I don't care what they're supposed to do. I need a job. So if I need a job, I may break a few rules. I might do something that nobody else did. But, you know, they say, you know what, this person just keeps coming back, and they call every day, and they seem like they really want to work, and you got to sell yourself. Yeah, I mean, you can count on me. I'm a hard worker. I can make things happen for you. But if you're just going to call and say, well, I was checking back on that resume. See, well, that job, you're going to do anything with it. Another way, you got to be able to present yourself how you talk. People are turned off to people that don't speak well. That's our society. Yes. We had a brother in the church, y'all know Griffin. Very ignorant. Totally uneducated. And he was looking for this job. Somebody was hiring somebody for the warehouse position. So he got on the phone. I thought, you're not getting that job. He got on the phone and he said, yeah, this is Michael Griffin calling. I just want to know, have you hired somebody for that warehouse position? You're not getting that job. They don't like that. And maybe that's the best you can do, but you better learn something. You better try to find out how to talk. That means everything. I can always tell in my house when my son-in-law is talking to somebody about a job, talks totally different. I said, hi there, John. Yeah, this is Cliff. Now, otherwise, he's just saying, yeah, it's Cliff. You know, I said, he's talking to somebody about a job. How I presented myself. Can I speak well enough that people want to listen to what I got to say? So if I can't, that can be a big handicap. Because our society is so narrow-minded, doesn't mean that the person that doesn't speak perfect English can't do the job, but that you don't like what it sounds like. I'm getting ready to preach a message, just working on it this afternoon, about our whole society judges on looks. Everything is on looks. Everything is how you present yourself. Everything. You may not can do the job, but just come across like you can. Be a good liar. You can lie good enough, you can get it. That's horrible, but it's true. And don't be too old. Oh, no. You got to be very careful how you present yourself as you get older, because we have a young society. They're looking for young people. They're not looking for people that seemingly should be retired by now. But some retirees are doing very well. They still can work. They're up and around and what have you. So You shouldn't count them out. And sometimes you get a better person that's older because they're more mature and they really take their job serious. Where young people show up late and maybe I get there tomorrow and one thing or another, but older people, as you live longer, you start thinking, I need this. If I got it, I better make it count. See? So ask yourself, are you one of these people who always start something but never finish it? The race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but to the one who endures to the end. I got to be able to go through this for sure. I got to do that. There's no doubt about it. Yes, I need you to move. So listen to it. So anybody can do something for the moment. For the moment. Anybody can last on a diet for a day. That's not hard. You on a diet? Yes. How long you been on? Oh, this is my first day, and it's probably going to be the last. Yes. So always, everybody that I ever talked to, when they start a diet, they always started on Monday. They eat all weekend. And they say, I'm starting my diet tomorrow. It's Sunday. I'm starting my diet. And at Christmas time, oh, they make some good starts at the first of the year. They pig out all during the holidays and what have you. But check it out. But they're not going to stay with that. You got to really be a person who wants to become disciplined. I said to my family, and I don't cook anymore. I used to cook a lot of terrible food. I don't cook anymore. And they called me over one time and said, Mama, are you gonna cook the sweet potato pies? So I stopped before Charles died. I said, no, I ain't cooking no more sweet potato pies. They're not good for you anyway. They're not good for you. And nobody can cook a sweet potato pie like Sister Rose. And nobody's pie will make you fatter than mine. Yes, for sure. So I said no, and I made up in my mind, I don't care whether it's holiday or not. That doesn't mean, well, it's Christmas, you know. Yeah. Well, you know how that is. You know, I'm trying to lose a few pounds before Christmas because, you know, I'm going to, be picking out for the holiday. Why don't you just make that decision? Why don't you make that decision instead of saying, well, you know what? I'm going to stay disciplined regardless. And that's what I told my kids. I said, I don't care. I'm going to stay disciplined. I don't care who's cooking it because they called me over to the house and said, Mama, because I don't measure anything. Most people that measure can't cook, but people who just dump in, you get some good food. So when they found out I wasn't going to cook it anymore, they said, Mama, could you come over to the house for Thanksgiving? And we're going to let you sit here and tell us, you know what to put in it. So they start putting in. They taste. Put in, and taste. And I said, you need more of that. Or you get a little spoon and you, no, it needs more sugar. Needs more flavoring. Needs more of the fattening butter. Yeah, because you can't taste the butter. Creamy, people that say they can cook a pie and it's got lumps all in it, they can't cook a pie. This pie is creamy, smooth. One of the brothers in our church came over. The people used to come over to my house at Thanksgiving. They heard about the pie. Oh, boy. So one year I decided, so many people had asked me, would you please cook a pie for me, Sister Rose? Okay, I will. I cooked 16 pies. And they were coming in, picking them up, start eating on them before they ever went out the door. And Clint said he had heard about the pie, but he had never had it. And so he came in, and we cut him a slice of pie, and we put a little Cool Whip on top of it. And the crust, there is no crust like Sister Rose's crust. There's only one kind. It's called Sister Rose's crust. And so he come in, that crust melt in your mouth like it passed you. You don't even know it was there. It's gone. It's so light, you can't find it. But it's so good. And so he bit into that pie. He said, He turned it around and he looked at it. He said, that pie's got character. And he just started biting into it again. So after a while, when everybody's talking about Sister Rose's pie, more and more people start coming up and say, could you cook me a pie, Sister Rose? Only at the holidays that I do it. I said, no, I'm not cooking no more pies. You better catch it over Niecy's house because my daughter, she cooks it exactly the way I cook it. But they worked hard that weekend. I mean, they were putting in and tasting and writing down. We need this much of this and this much of that. And they had a whole list. And so if Mama go to heaven, we got to learn how to cook that pie. So what I look at is that they were not going to give up until they got it right. And they kept stirring and tasting. But they would not stop, and now they got it exactly the way I cook it. Homemade rolls were the same. I wanted to please my husband and make homemade rolls for him because my sister-in-law could really cook it. I got tired of him bragging on her. So I thought, I'm going to learn how to master that. So I told the Lord, I said, help me to be a good cook. I should have never prayed that prayer. But anyway, I made up my mind I'm going to be better than her. He always said, Rose, Net can cook. Net can cook. Tired of hearing about Net. Net can make some biscuits. I learned how to cook homemade rolls the first time I made them. They were so hard they didn't rise, and you could throw them up against that wall and bounce back on them. I mean, they were bad. They were bad. So my husband came home, and I said, honey, I made you some homemade rolls. And he said, oh, did you? I said, yeah. I said, taste it. That's how hard it was. And I looked at his face. I said, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better. But, I mean, give me credit. At least try. But let me tell you, I mastered it. Those rolls. And you know what? I have no struggle with it. I have no feeling that I got to have it. Oh, if that's what you made, whatever. No, not doing it. It's a matter of telling yourself, this is not good, and I'm not going to do it. And stick with it. You can stick with it. He said, I was doing good for a while. I fell off the wagon, and the wagon rolled over me. Well, you didn't have to fall off. It should have rolled over you if that's what you did. So, everything in life, if we want to get good at it, we just keep going until we perfect it. The Williams sisters would never learn how to play tennis the way they play it had not their father made them play continuously. Them people train constantly. I read one of them's book, and she said sometimes 12 and 13 hours a day they train. Well, you're not going to go out there and do real good with a tennis ball and you ate donuts and cookies all day and you didn't work out. You're not going to have the same results. So then here's what everybody asks somebody when they lose weight. How did you do it? Same way everybody does it. The same way. And so when I look at that, I'm thinking, okay, how much in our life are we losing? Not just on those petty things, but what good things are you losing in your life simply because you didn't go after it? You went after it once. You said, well, I tried. Well, why don't you try again? Well, I did. I went twice. It still didn't work. Keep going. Don't give up. If you want something for God, you stay on it until it happens. If you want to change your life, stay on it until it happens. You can do it. Don't just keep starting something. Well, I started praying. That's what people do in the church. They tell me, I'm praying. Okay, tell me this next year. Tell me this 2 years from now. 3 years from now. That's good you started. Because everything that we do, we have a start. But how far are we going to finish that? And you can finish it. So if you can't finish this, you'll never finish the race that's supposed to take us to heaven. You're not going to make it. Because this is a lifetime race. This is not a race that you go to the Olympics and you win the gold medal and it's over. No, you're talking about the rest of your life. You got to run this race. You got to fight the devil to the bitter end. You got to stay on target. You got to stay focused. You got to stay alert. And it can't be for a little while. It's got to continue. There's people all over this building, I could tell you that I look at tonight that have, God has touched them. He sent them a word. He touched them. He sent them a word. And every time you look up, they're right back to the same place. You're just a starter. You don't finish nothing. When you finish things, you have victory. When you get in a fight with the devil, do you win? I got to win this. I'm not going to stop until I win, no matter what. I'm going to keep pushing. Keep pushing. Don't give up. Don't say, well, after you try 2 or 3 times, I'm just so tired. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, I can't do it. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. When things go bad and people come around and say, I've been watching you. You ain't going to ever win that. Don't listen to them people. Cut them off. I don't hear you. Because really, if I want to, I can do it. I'm not going to stop. If somebody telling me, well, I know a lot of people that done what you did and they didn't get anywhere. I'm not those people. Quit measuring your life by other people's failures. If they fail, you don't have to fail. If they didn't make it, you can make it, regardless of what they say. I can get through this. I can make it if I want to. You know what I found out about people? What they want to do, they do it. What they don't want to do, they give you an excuse why they can't do it. But if you want to do it, you're going to hang in there. I'm giving it everything I got. I want to break some records. I want to do something maybe somebody else never did, but I'm not giving up. I'm going for it. You got to fight. The lady, she is a therapist, a physical therapist, and she do this thing called needling. And she stick these needles down by your spine, and it loosens up those little muscles so when your back gets too tight, she sticks those needles in there, and boy, do it feel better. Do it, Barbara? Yes, it feels good. The thing that made me didn't want to call her back, my back felt terrific, but that needle. And my daughter said, Mama, did you feel the needle? I said, I felt all of it. And I'm a good person for taking some pain. But when she put that needle in my back and she just keeps putting them in and putting them in, but let me tell you, and them muscles, they act like somebody attacked them. But boy, you could move around and feel good. She said, Rose, I'm telling you, if most people that go for back surgery, if I could get to them before they go to back surgery, they never have to have it. She said, because back surgery is never any good. You hurt before, you hurt afterwards. But if I do this, yeah. So she came one day and she did this shoulder over here, and I didn't even know that muscle could stand up that high. That muscle almost slapped me upside the head. It stood up so high. I mean, it just boom, boom, boom. And you felt that pain go all the way up your head, all the way down the front. But when she was done, boy, did it feel good. You didn't even realize you was that tight in your shoulders. But you know what? I just made up my mind. I'm going to take the pain. No pain, no gain. So I'm just going to take it. I said, well, Angie, I'm going to have you come in at least every 2 weeks. She said, once I trick that muscle into being in a certain place, it has a memory, it'll stay there. And so you won't have to call me often. Some people don't call me for 6 to 8 weeks. And I thought, I'm calling you. So I told Lisa, I was ashamed of it, but I called my daughter. I said, come over here and hold Mama's hand while I go through this. I said, don't tell nobody I told you to come over here. Hold my hand. Lisa said, boy, Mama squeezed my hand so bad. Because when she stuck it in, I had to have something to hold on to. I didn't want to be by myself because I didn't want to holler. She said, Rose, you're such a champ. You just take it so well. I said, no, I don't. Because I'm trying not to holler. I'm trying not to say, ah. So my oldest daughter, she won't go back. She said, no, I'd have to be high before I go back. I can't take it. She said one of her clients came over to Dr. Adams' office, and she said he walked all the way to the office. She said, why did you walk? He said, I had tequila, and I knew I was coming here. He said, so I just walked down here. And he said, I can't take it without taking a little something ahead of time. Well, I'm not going to drink no tequila. God forbid. But when you think about it, if something is benefiting you, you'll keep doing it. But if it doesn't benefit you and you don't see results from it, you say, why am I doing this? I'm not going to do all this and go through this if I get nothing out of it. But when you go after God, you get something out of it. I'm telling you, get something out of it. And without a doubt, he is waiting there to take you to the next step if you want to go. Don't give up. Push. Push. See? When you continue something, it means that you have taken the time to understand that there's going to be a time of duration that continues over a long period of time. But you can do it. Don't say, well, how long is that going to take? However long. Go after it. Go after it. If the widow woman had not continued to go, she would have never been avenged. Sometime on your job, people are driving you crazy, treating you bad, and what have you. Hey, don't leave the job. I told a woman in town who I used to go to. She used to take our family portraits, and she moved into this house, and the neighbors started treating her real bad. She said, I can't take the pressure. I said, what do you mean? I'm going to move. Out of your new house? Yeah, I ain't moving. They tried to do me a job up there in Pine Creek. They did it, well, how many years? Many years. I thought, I'm not leaving. I hate to move. So once I moved up here, I'm going to die up here. So if you think you're going to get me to move by hassling me, think again. I'm not going anywhere. They hassled me on everything. They didn't expect a black person to fall through the cracks and get up there. I fell through the cracks and stood up. They didn't like it. The thing you face in this country that's racism is no reason for you to say I can't do it. There's no reason for you to say, well, you know, when you're black, I don't care if I am black. If I fight hard enough, I can get there. Quit letting these negative things stop you. And people tell you, well, you can't do it because, you know, they don't like black people. You don't have to like me for me to win. I don't need you to like me. I got to keep pushing. See? Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face continually. Keep going to him until the thing you wanted from God, he gives it to you. David said, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. I'm going to praise him every chance I get. No matter what. When I go to church, I don't feel good. I'm going to praise him anyway. I'm feeling tired. I'm going to praise him anyway. And you don't come in and tell me I would have praised God, but you know what? I had a headache. Start praising God. You won't have a headache. Keep going. The devil wants to stop you. You're the one that say I'm not going to be stopped. You're the one that say I'm going to win. I don't care how impossible it looks. Now, if you can't sing and you say I really want to sing, we love you. Some people got that gift. Some people don't have it. But if I can't sing, I can do something else. Don't keep on going after singing when you know you can't carry a tune in a bucket. And then people got to listen to that. My oldest daughter, she can't. Oh, my God. What she calls singing is so unbelievably bad. She can't sing. Her sister can sing. My son-in-law over here, that boy can sing. You have to recognize it. Wanda said, just being over the choir, they would come to choir rehearsal sometime, and somebody who could not sing a lick said, Sister LaWanda, can I lead this song? She said, no. Well, I think I can. I heard you already. No, you cannot. So some things that we know not maybe it's going to work for us, we don't have to go after that. But the thing that you can make happen in your life, make it happen. Make it happen. You can do it. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep going. You get on a job, I don't care where you start. If you work hard enough, you can work your way up. So you went in at a lesser paycheck. Maybe you're not getting what you thought you could have got. But if you push and you keep fighting, and not the person who leaves before anybody else leaves the job. Every time it's time to go home, who leaves first? You. Who hangs around and help other people with their job, learning their job? If I want to go up to your position, I need to make myself available and so I can be sure to learn your job. I don't have to tell you I'm going for it. Just work hard. People that work hard, the Bible says, in all labor there is reward. It ain't coming without labor. Labor is work. That's a bad word to some people. I don't want to work. Work, do whatever you have to do until you can get to the place where you want to be. Sometimes you have to take things you don't want to take, but look, take it for the time being. It's better to have $15 an hour than to have none. Yeah, it's not enough money to do what you need to do, but it's better than having none. And I'll keep pushing. See, back in our day, there was no computers. Everything was hard work. And if you didn't have a formal education, you worked even harder. But you know what? People didn't complain. They worked hard. Our foreparents that was raised on farms, they worked in the fields. Early morning to late at night, in the sun, picking cotton, farming their land, doing all this stuff, working hard. Them people worked hard. It wasn't nothing. These young people want to lay up in the bed till 10 o'clock. What time is it? You don't get a job going looking for a job at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Nobody going to hire you. But if you're an early bird, get up early. Make it happen. I'm going to be out here doing what I got to do. I'm going to push it. Push. How you make your marriage work? Push. You quit just letting any and everything get to you. Learn who you married. Because you're not going to know them anyway till you get married. But apply yourself. Learn how to make it work. You don't have to end up in a divorce. People end up in a divorce because everybody's trying to control the other person's life. Let me live. I let you live, you let me live. You understand there's things I like, there's things I don't like. Same with him. You got to give space. But if you want your marriage to work, you're talking about labor, you're talking about hard work. 35 years was I married to my husband. When we first got married, I probably was mad at him more than I was happy. Because so many things that you just didn't know until you got married. I don't think he could say that about me because I was just as good as I could be. Say it about me. I was everything and some more. Yeah, but I'm learning this, man. Who are you? Why does that bother you? You know what? I was married to my husband maybe 30 years plus before I found out what bothered him when we were in the hotel to go out and bring me something back because I didn't feel like going out. And every time I said to him, Charles, could you bring me a sandwich back or bring me something from one of the restaurants because I don't want to go out. Every time he had an attitude. Every time. So one day I just asked him, I said, honey, why is it that you get so upset when I ask you to bring me a sandwich or something back? What is the problem? He said, Rose, you know, I was raised in the South. Everywhere you looked at, there comes some black person with a greasy brown bag. With this big spot of grease on the back. He said, I just don't want to be seen like that. Well, could you have told me that years ago? And I wouldn't be thinking you just didn't want to do it. He says, all you see is some black person coming with a little brown bag and it's greasy on the outside, whatever's in there. I just don't want to do it. I said, well, wow. After all these years, I find out it's a brown, greasy little bag. So I said, well, honey, why don't you take the overnight bag? He said, I just want to be seen, look like I'm bringing in food in the hotels. But if he had not told me that, I would have lived my life thinking, he never wants to get me anything. He never wants to buy me a sandwich. It had nothing to do with that. So sometimes the person you married to ain't said yet, I don't like that. They do that at the divorce court. I never did like when you was doing such and such as that. I didn't like that. For all these years I was with you, I didn't care for you doing that. I never could stand stuff like you said, well, why didn't you tell me? You should have known. Crazy stuff. So that's something you're going to have to build, work your way through it. If you love each other enough, you can do it. If you don't love each other enough, you ain't going to do it. You say, I'm just tired of this man. People get tired of their tired they mate over nothing. You'd be surprised at the people I have counseled over the years. In marriage, we need some counsel. What is it? Nothing. You need counsel for that? Give me a break. I'm taking my time to meet you at the church, and you're talking about nothing. That's a problem in your marriage? You don't have a marriage. There's things you just got to move past. You got to build it. You got to fight. You got to labor. You got to sacrifice some of yourself. I got to sacrifice me. It's a give and take on both sides. Sometimes I do it his way. Sometimes he do it my way. Sometimes we talk about things, and he seems like he won the argument, and I didn't. Hey, take it. Because my husband loved a good argument. He loved it. He said, Rose, when I was in school, my teacher said, Charles Banks, I think if you're that lamppost out there talk back at you, you talk to it. He loved to argue. I don't like to argue. So he'll get on something, and I'll say, got anything to say, Rose? No. Why don't you have something to say? Just don't. Well, I'm not getting ready to shut up. Well, eventually you're going to answer something. Sometimes I say, hey, Charles, you know what? You right, you run with that. Because he's got to prove he's right and I'm wrong. Told me biggest day, Rose, I'm seldom wrong. I'm trying to get that one, because how do you be seldom wrong? I could show you a list of things. He's seldom wrong. What do? Do you walk away? No, we learn to work our way through it and love each other and stay together until we were older. Learn, because when young people, they want to just get uptight over anything. My daughters got married. I said, don't bring me your problems. You're gonna have some issues with that man. He's a man. That goes with the territory. And at the time they had the first argument, Mama, can you tell him? I said, I'm not telling him anything. Go back home, you fix it. You work it out. And one, I guess, and Amos had one of their first arguments, and she's jumping in the car because she's going to Mama's house. And he's outside trying to stop her. Wait a minute, we got to take everything to Mama. We have to go to Mama. Wait a minute. She drives off and leave him howling in the driveway about, we don't have to take everything to Mama. The time she comes to the house, I said, y'all will work through it. Because it takes time. Sometimes people don't push themselves because they don't want to have to deal with something for any period of time. I just want to get it done. You know what? I look at people. If you have a car, you know what it means to start your car. Years ago, we had a button. You'll get you there eventually. Now they come back with the buttons now. But a starter, it doesn't work very good. I'm talking about a car now. When something is wrong with it, you may think you're going downtown. You may think you're going over here. If that starter doesn't kick in and stay in, I hate that. You get outside and I'll see you in a minute. You're going nowhere. And that's exactly the way the people of God are. All they do is make a sound. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. You're going nowhere. Nowhere. In our day, we couldn't afford a brand new car, so all the time you always had a used car. And sometimes it ran and sometimes it didn't. Got so tired of that Fairlane 500 Ford. That thing it went from one bad problem to another. But so I told y'all, I said, car needs to be kicked off of a cliff. It's going nowhere. Every time you think you're going somewhere, it says, not today. That's the way you are. You make a sound, and it sounds like you getting up. It sounds like you getting ready to build a relationship with God. It sounds like you getting ready to make something happen that you didn't think could happen. It sounds like that. It's the beginning. But if you run into the obstacles, if you run into the things that's supposed to make you feel bad and back up and don't do it, don't let that stop you. Just because it won't start now, keep pushing. At some point in your life, it's going to matter. At some point, you're going to say, I'm staying with this. I can do this. When I learned how to drive, my husband was the worst person to teach me how to drive. And I like to do everything fast. Boom. I'm a beginner driver, just got in the car. I'm pressing the gas all the way down. And he said, Rose, slow down. I can handle it. You can't handle nothing. But you know what? I learned how to drive because I didn't give up. Now, he told me by the time I got ready and went around the block and came back and came into that curve doing 50 miles an hour, and he was screaming with his feet up in the dashboard like this. And he said, get out the car, Rose. Okay? You cannot come into the curb at 50 miles an hour. You slow down. I didn't like to slow down. I like doing things fast. But I learned because I didn't give up. And when he said, get out the car, I made up my mind, I'm going to get back in. I'm going to learn how to drive. And I learned. So if you are not succeeding in your life, it's simply because you are not continually fighting it. You're not continually beating it down. Everything getting your way, beat it down. Beat it down and say, I'm not stopping. See? People don't understand. After a while, we don't have that long to live in this world. If you live to be 100, you lived a short time. Understand, you're going to spend your whole life trying to get something done but never accomplished it. People come to the end of their life with great regrets that I wish. How bad I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that so bad. As you get older, I remember how bad I used to want to play the piano. Oh, my God. When our church came on the air, we had a broadcast come on, and it was singing, It's a Highway to Heaven. And I would sit down, pull my chair up at the kitchen table, and boy, I was tearing that table up. I mean, I was all over the place. If it had some keys there, I was making some noise. Our folks couldn't afford a piano. They couldn't afford somebody to teach you nothing. All my life, I want to play the piano. Now I want to play the piano, the organ, and the guitar. Come on, Rose, slow down. You know, so I go to my keyboard. I don't like it when every time I hit a key and it sounds funny. So I recognize a button up there that you push it in and it plays this different type of music and the keys light up for it. I thought, wow. I pushed that button and them keys was lighting up. Boy, I was tearing that thing up. I thought it's because it sounds good. Wow, look, he said all the keys is sounding right. I would just go out to my daughter. I said, don't leave, I got to play your song. She come back and stood there for a minute. I was going on there. She said, Mama, how you keep up? I'm keeping up with all these colors. I'm feeling, boy, I'm playing. Still ain't going to give up. I could go to a teacher to teach me how to play or have somebody come to the house. But I said to the Lord, I want you to teach me. Give me wisdom. I had an auntie that got up to the piano at 4 years old and started playing and never stopped. Never had a lesson, didn't know a key, didn't know anything. I said, God, I'm up in age now. I don't want to go through a whole bunch of C, D. I don't want to do that. I just want to sit down and play. Well, if that little baby up there is going to help me to be happy, I'm pushing that button. Because, it's a feeling of accomplishment. Even though you know you are not doing that. But the feeling inside is sounding right. It's got a good beat, and I'm beating with it. And, wow, this is good. God, I wish I'd have had that when I was younger. But I'm still going to keep pushing. And I saw that man playing that organ. And every time I see somebody come on TV, I just watch their hands on the piano and the organ. And this man, he plays the organ and he does this. I thought, what is he pushing? And then he'll push some things in. I thought, I got to learn that. It's a challenge. You know what? Sometimes we don't make success in our life because we don't like challenges. You mean to tell me you got to do all that? Yes, if you want to learn. If you want to succeed, if you want to be good at what you want to be good at, you got to be willing. And challenges make us grow. Everything that comes easy in life is no fun. But when you have to fight, when you have to go after it, boy, you appreciate it. Back in the day, we couldn't afford to buy a complete living room, so you buy the couch. Lady, you go back and get the chair if you ain't throw up the couch by that time. And you keep adding to it piece by piece till you get a whole living room set. You don't give up. You keep thinking, boy, it's going to look pretty when I get that chair to sit over there. And I get that love seat. I don't have it now, but something inside of me tell me if I keep doing it right and I plan it right. You know what I found out about a lot of people? Their plan stinks. The plan they got for their success, I'm thinking, how did you put that in place? It's not going to work. So what do I want to do? I want to find a good plan. I want to work with it, and I want to push myself until I'm able to accomplish it. Whatever you want. I said tonight about Thomas over here, and this is the truth. I said in the car coming with Nisa, I said, Thomas is going to be one of the greatest preachers. You would never know it now. You would never know it. But he is going to be a good preacher. This boy is shy. He's a lot like I was. He's shy. He's not very open with people, but he's tired of that. Once you get tired of something, you start going after it. You start making a change in your life. I'm going to be a good Christian, not a half-stepping one. Not one who talk about it but don't do it. I'm going to be a Christian and people look at me, they say your life is different. What makes you different? See? By what I do. And you can do it every day. You know why leaders don't like to be leaders? Because somebody is emulating your life. They're watching you. They're walking in your footsteps. And you know you crooked. You know you crooked. You'll lead somebody wrong. Be a good preacher. Be a good leader. Be a good singer. Everything you do, make sure you do it the best. And you got to push and push to make it happen. But if you continue to go after it, it will work for you. It will work for you. Don't give up. Say, I'm going to strive with everything within my heart. I'm going to give it everything I got. See, if you do that, and you get accustomed to continuing things, you'll start winning. But if you're a person who push but don't never finish anything, you see people like that? They started some of everything. They started building this little bench over here. After a while, they went on to try to find them something else bigger to build. And they go over here and they build something else. And you say, well, did you get it finished? No, I still ain't put the legs on it yet. Why did you start something before you got it done? That's what a lot of people do. They start things, but they don't get it done. They always talk about, look at that right there. That would have been a nice thing there if I'd have finished it. Yeah, it might have been. But you ain't one to finish it. Tell the Lord, I need you to put some fight in me. Fight to go forward. Fight to win. Fight to say, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep going. Push. Push through the hard things. Push through the walls that's in the way. Push through the doors that are locked. Push through everything that look like it's a reason why you shouldn't be able to make it, but I'm going to. Sometimes you got to walk it by yourself, you and God, and leave everybody else out because they're always telling you what you can't do. No. Start checking yourself and see, okay, what did you start doing this week that you're going to be doing next week? Because there's no fun I prayed really good today. Why didn't you pray good every day? I read the Bible. I read several chapters. Why don't you do that every day? Those things make us strong Christians. They help us to grow. We become powerful in what we do because we finish things. We always, you ain't going to finish it to the end of this race unless you're willing to go through. Sometimes it's going to be hard. Sometimes you're going to cry. Sometimes you're going to feel like I can't make it, but I'm going to. Keep going. Keep going. You say, I tried Christianity. It doesn't work for me. It better work for you. If it doesn't work for you, you'll die and go to hell. It's got to work. That's something I got to fight. That's something I got to stay with. No matter what. Quit making excuses. Well, you know, I really planned to do that today and never got it done. You go to somebody's house and it's dirty and they started over here. They wiped something, left that, went over here, took the feather dust and did something, went over here and said, why didn't you finish that? Get the first thing done, then move on. Continuing is everything. Sometimes you ever had, everybody's no doubt has experienced this, you have a car with a battery that sometimes kicks in, sometimes it don't. You learn through experience. Has a dead cell. Because sometimes you go out there, hey, you going. Other time you're not going anywhere. The battery needs to be replaced because you can always have that as long as you got dead cell. It's going to get hot sometimes, sometimes it's not. So where are you at in your life? If you look at your life now and you had to go back and think of the things that you started, and as you look at your life, you can see, I never finished nothing. I was always going to be better. I was always going to be good at it. I was always doing this. Never finished it. Died that way. Somebody come in your house after you're dead and said, what's this? Oh, that was a quilt that mother started. It's got a fourth of it done. Oh, what is this? Oh, that's something else that mother, she started. You don't have to say because my mama was that way, that's why I'm that way. If you got some bad habits, I don't want your habit. I don't care if you are my mother. I want to be different. My mother wasn't a very tidy person, and I'm a fanatic about cleanliness. I don't really call it fanatic. I just think you ought to have things clean. My mother was never that way. I remember taking my little girl over there when she was about 4 years old, and she walked in and she looked at the table. She said, give me a rag. This is one nasty table. And then started rubbing on it. I mean, oh yeah, clean up this nasty table. Little bitty something, little tiny girl. She recognized me. My mother was like, Rose, look at her. I'm thinking she's telling you something. A little kid knows you need to clean up. Just wasn't her thing. My father was just the opposite. Everything was completely clean. Everything in his, everything had a place. Neat, together. You don't have to look at other people and say, yeah, I never was like that. I've been a pig all my life. You want to change from being a pig? Come on. And then you raise piglets. And all over your house, you got little piglets running there. They don't get nothing done in life because they see you didn't do nothing. Change it. Tonight, I want to leave with you if nothing else. Be persistent about where you want to go. Give it everything you got. I'm not stopping. I'm going to change it as of today. You want a better job? Who is that? Where's Kendra? You moved yet? I'm gonna call you. We were talking on the phone. She is to be admired. She works very, very hard. She went to school at, what were you, 40-something years old? 40-something years old and got your master's? Master's degree. And she's working on this job where she can be way beyond what she's doing. That she's got a master's now. But she's not quick to move. She'll keep saying this, I need something different. Well, I need something different. I'm going to call you because I was going to check on you to see what you did. And I talked to her. I said, go after it, Kendra. Go after it. Don't doubt yourself and your ability to do it. And then you got God helping you. It's you to be admired to get a master's degree at 40-something years old. Get with it. She said, you know what, Sister Rose, I'm going to do that. But I hadn't checked back with her. You will get a call this week. See, did you go after it? Don't say I can't. And you're always going to meet these people somewhere in the process of going up. They're saying, we don't like women. We don't want women up here. Go through it anyway. There's some good women that made it to the top of corporate. They didn't make it because it was an easy thing to do. They had to fight to get there. Because somebody's there to say, you're not going to pass me. I just don't like women above me. Who do you think you are? It's not very hard to pass you anyway. Somebody acting like, I'm the man. Make up your mind, I'm going after it. But most of all, persist in becoming the best Christian you can be. I'm not going to be one of these people who go to church on Sunday and curse and lie and cheat and everything else all during the week. No, I'm going to be a real Christian. One that represents the kingdom well. I said to the Lord the other day, I was looking at some preacher on TV, and I said, God, I would never do that to you. I'm thinking of what he did and what a reproach he brought on the gospel, and I would never hurt you. I would never do that to you. How you must have hurt when you saw that preacher doing that type of sin that everybody knows about it. God, I'll never do it to you. And you know what? All you got to do is make up in your mind. You either want to be a good preacher, a moral preacher, one that's going to do the right thing, going to help people, not sneaking around, doing all kind of undercover stuff. You can be the best. You can have a good name. Better to be chosen than great riches. Make up in your mind, I'm going after it. I'm going to be the best. I'm not going to be one of these preachers that God looked down and said, it repents me that I ever made you. I'm sorry I ever made you one of my people. Do it right. Want to be a Christian, be a good one. Say, I'm going to give it everything I got, Sister Rose. I'm not going to sit around and make excuses about it. Starting today, I'm going to quit saying, well, we're not perfect. God's told us he wants us to strive for perfection. Strive for it. Paul said, I'm pressing toward it. If you never strive toward a perfection, you'll never get there. See? All the people that win the crown in this natural world, they had to persist and continue to fight to get there. To be honest, tennis wasn't a world where black people played. Arthur Ashe, I think, was one of the first ones that played tennis. So now for two black women to come and go there, they fought some things. I read one of them's book that they wrote. Boy, they went through some stuff. Being called the N-word as they come out on the field, and all they went through some stuff. One time they said they never wanted to go back. They treated them so bad. We don't want you here. There was a time you didn't see a black man on the golf course. You didn't see it because my husband was out there, but he wasn't no Tiger Woods. Yeah. He was out there. But when Tiger Woods came on, they made all kind of wisecracks. So when he won, well, you going to have collard greens and fried chicken? He didn't just have to have collard greens and fried chicken. Don't stereotype me that way. We eat more than fried chicken. Oh, he went through a lot. His father had to hire people to protect him. Threats on his life. Simply because you're on the golf course and this is not designed for you, it's designed for white and not black. Most things in our society, in some way, somehow, is designed to keep you out, kick the door down. I'm not talking about being violent. I'm talking about fighting. I'm talking about standing tall. I'm talking about I'm going to hang in there. I'm going to do everything I can. And you can do it. Take this message tonight. Kick yourself if you get up in the morning talking about, well, I hope this message come back and knock you right in the mouth. Shut up! If you got a husband or wife here, you can easily get them. Don't start it, baby. Did you hear the message last night? You can talk up. If you by yourself, talk to yourself. You're not starting it today. You're not doing it. You're getting up and you're going to do it. You tell me I didn't feel like getting up. I was just so tired. Okay. If Jesus had stopped when the load to go to Calvary had became so heavy until he fell beneath the cross because he had your sins and my sins on his back, dying for all of us. People that had never yet been born, he was dying for them. He fell beneath the load of it. Did he stay there? He got up. He made it to Calvary. Because of that, you and I have an opportunity and a chance to excel in this life. But let's do it spiritually first, and then at the end, if you want to kick in some natural things, go ahead. He says, seek ye me first and the kingdom of heaven. And all these other things you're talking about, I'll just throw it in for good measure. Try this. It works. Good song.
Said I feel alive. Said I feel alive. Oh yeah. Well, I feel like pressing on every day of my life. Oh yeah. Through the storm and the rain, heartaches and pain. Said I feel alive.